Welcome to Tales from the Vale. Tonight, we present a story of sacrifice and unforeseen consequences. The king who sold his heart to a vampire. In the twilight years of his reign, King Alaric sat upon a throne of cold stone. The weight of a dying kingdom pressed down on him like a burial shroud. Famine stalked the fields, plague haunted the cities, and his armies fell like wheat before a scythe. Every prayer he offered was met with a deafening silence. Every desperate plea for aid was returned unanswered. Despair was the only courtier that remained loyal, a constant, chilling presence in the grand, empty halls of his castle. His heart, once so full of hope and love for his people, had withered into a tight, aching knot of failure. He was a king of ghosts, ruling over a land of gathering shadows. One moonless night, as a violent storm raged against the castle's ancient windows, a figure emerged from the deepest shadows of the throne room. It was a woman of impossible beauty, with skin like polished alabaster and eyes that held the infinite darkness of a starless sky. She introduced herself only as Lilith, a name whispered in forbidden texts and forgotten lore. She was a creature of the night, a vampire, ancient and immeasurably powerful. She saw the raw desperation etched into Alaric's face, the hollow, cavernous space where his hope used to reside. She offered him a deal, her voice a silken promise that coiled around his weary soul. "Your kingdom withers," she purred, circling his throne like a predator. "Your people starve, but I can give you the strength to save them. I can grant you the power to command absolute obedience, to fill your granaries to overflowing, to turn the tide of any battle." She paused, her crimson lips curling into a knowing, dangerous smile. "All I ask for in return is a trifle, something you no longer have any use for." She leaned closer, her voice a mesmerizing whisper. "I ask for your heart, not the physical organ beating in his chest," she explained, "but the very seat of his emotions. His love, his grief, his compassion, his fear. He would be free from the crushing pain that was destroying him from the inside out. Blinded by the promise of salvation for his people, exhausted by his own grief, Alaric agreed. The pact was sealed with a single, cold kiss that felt like death and eternity combined. In that instant, an unnatural vigor surged through him, cold and sharp as ice. He felt no more sorrow for his starving subjects, no more fear of his advancing enemies. He became a ruthlessly efficient ruler. He led his revitalized armies with a chilling, mathematical precision, conquering neighboring lands simply to seize their grain. He enacted brutal laws that restored order with an iron fist, but extinguished all joy and warmth from the land. His kingdom prospered. Its belly was full, and its borders were secure. But the people no longer looked at their king with love or admiration. They looked at him with a deep and abiding fear. The fields were green again, the storehouses were overflowing, but the kingdom had become a soulless place. Alaric would walk through his silent, orderly cities and feel absolutely nothing. He saw children playing in the streets, but felt no warmth. He heard music drifting from taverns, but felt no delight. The fierce love for his people, the very reason he had made the terrible deal in the first place, was gone, erased as if it had never been. He was a hollow shell, an automaton wearing a crown, moving through a world painted in shades of gray. His victory was absolute, and yet it was the most profound and devastating defeat imaginable. Years turned into decades. Alaric did not age. He was the immortal king of a prosperous, empty land. One evening, he stood on his balcony, looking out at the silent, well-fed kingdom he had saved. Lilith appeared beside him in the twilight, as beautiful and timeless as the night she first came to him. "Are you not pleased, my king?" she asked, her voice smooth as velvet. "You have everything you ever wanted." Alaric slowly turned his vacant, emotionless eyes to her. "I saved their bodies," he said, his voice flat and empty. "But I have damned their souls, and my own along with them. He possessed the power of a god, but the inner world of a stone. He was the king who had sold his heart to save his kingdom, only to find himself the sole, lonely resident of a gilded cage, eternally reigning over a world he could no longer feel. He had won everything, and in doing so, had lost the only thing that ever truly mattered. Thank you for listening to Tales from the Vale. If you enjoy stories that explore the shadows of the human heart, be sure to subscribe and join us again in the darkness.